Hey, Stephen here, and this is a quick one, really. Well, I always say it's going to be a quick one, but let's see how it goes. I want to talk about how we choose a band name, or an artist name, or a brand name. And I'm going to go over a couple of examples, well, a couple of my examples I've used to name a couple of the projects I'm involved with. And the first one was Minion TV, right? Now, the band I was in, Minion TV, the name came about after a kind of a prank I played on someone, which it was a funny prank, but looking back, I was a bit of an idiot. What I did, it was a bit mean. But I'll tell you what happened. I was in a university, and I knew someone there who is involved in the kind of live action role playing, LARPing, dressing up as soldiers or medieval knights or whatever. And he's very interested in getting in touch with directors and stuff. So I kind of made up a director who got in touch with him. I spoofed an email and got in touch with him and said that there was an opportunity for him to be in a film, and he kind of believed it. The film was called The Child and the Chainsaw. I just made her up, this first thing I come up with. But the company name was Minion TV. It was just a name I came up with. It was kind of the idea of people being obsessed with advertising, just Minion to TV. And I kind of put those two things together on the spot, and I thought that sounded pretty cool. And I got in touch with him and said, hey, do you want to travel to Australia to be in this film called The Child and the Chainsaw? And he was like, yeah, this is amazing, because he was so excited. I felt so mean because I kind of had him going with this for a few days, but I eventually told him. But the point is that name Minion TV stuck with me because it had a meaning to it. And so when it came to picking a name for a band, I liked that because it wasn't something that just came out of nowhere and I was just splicing two words together. It had a kind of an emotional meaning to me, an emotional message, and a story I could tell, even though that story now makes me sound horrible, because I really feel bad because he was really excited and I kind of, that kind of got diffused. But, that's where that name came from. There's an emotional, meaning to it. When you're choosing a name for your brand or your band or your artist name, I think it's important to note that you will make the name. The name will be made of what you put into it. So you just think of the acts like the Beatles. The Beatles isn't a great name, as much as I absolutely adore the Beatles. The band name isn't that great if you're thinking about it. There are a lot of bands at the time called The something. So it was more about their talent and other people around them helping them out at the time that put into that name, and that name meant something. There's loads of examples. Coldplay example, because it's just two names put together, but the band kind of made it into something. So it's kind of the story is kind of more important than the name, if you know what I mean. So if you go back, Minion TV isn't really a good name, but we kind of made it work for a while. Another example, okay, so for my name on YouTube for a while was just Stephen Johnston. Now, until recently, I don't know if you've checked my YouTube channel, but I've changed it to Mr. SteeJ. Now, the reason for that is that when people were asking me what my username on YouTube was, I'd say Stephen Johnston, and they do a search, and about a million Stephen Johnstons come back. I don't know if you realise this, but the name Stephen Johnston isn't very unique. It's John Smith, Joe Blogs. So I decided to kind of change it up a little, and so I basically went through the Twitter and tried to come up with the shortest name possible. And this was a while ago because I've been using this on Twitter, and Mr. SteeJ was kind of available, so I thought, well, that kind of makes sense, Mr. Stephen Johnston, if you didn't get it by that. And it's a play on Mr. DJ or Mr. J from Batman, if you're a Harley Quinn fan. And that kind of made more sense to me, and I thought, well, that's easier. I can say to someone, hey, search for Mr. SteeJ. So that was another factor of choosing your name. So if you're thinking about branding yourself or an artist name, something memorable as well. Minion TV was memorable because there was nothing else around like that. It just sounds a bit crazy. And Mr. SteeJ, it just rolls off the tongue. It's easy to say and easy to search for. Well easier than Stephen Johnston. So Yeah, just there were just 2 examples. So if you're struggling on finding a name, like one, just pick some kind of unique, but don't like put too much emphasis on it, because whatever you do will, you know, tell its story. And 2, just don't pick something generic. So anyway, that was just a quick one, and let me know your thoughts, and if you've got any other ideas of choosing names or any bullet points on that fact. See you later, bye.